Have you ever turned a green trading day into a red one with just one trade? That almost happened to me today. It was around 3:30 in the afternoon. I had already had a good trading day. I was green. But I had been staring at the charts for over an hour, waiting for a setup. Nothing came. And then that voice appeared. Just one more trade. And that's the moment when boredom trading almost ruined my entire day. Today I want to talk about one of the most dangerous traps in trading out of boredom. And later in this video, I'll show you one simple rule that completely changed how I deal with boredom trading. And it's much simpler than most traders think. The 3:30 p.m. story. The market had slowed down. I had already taken my good setups earlier in the day, but I stayed in front of the screen, watching every candle, waiting. And after about an hour, something interesting started happening. I wasn't really looking for my setup anymore. I was just looking for something to trade. And if you've traded long enough, you know exactly what happens next. A setup that normally looks terrible suddenly looks not that bad. Your brain starts negotiating with you. Maybe this could work. Maybe the level will hold. Maybe it's worth a try. And suddenly the thought appears, it's just one trade. Let me ask you something. Have you ever taken a trade that you knew wasn't really part of your system, but you took it anyway? Not because the setup was great, but because you had been sitting there too long doing nothing. That's boredom trading. And the scary part is that it doesn't feel like a mistake in the moment. The market didn't almost ruin my day today. Boredom did. Because boredom slowly pushes traders into decisions that have nothing to do with their strategy. And once I started studying this, I realized something interesting. Boredom trading doesn't happen because traders are reckless. It happens because of how the brain works. Why trading feels addictive. When you take a trade and it works, something very specific happens in your brain. You don't just make money. Your brain activates its reward system. It releases dopamine, the chemical linked to motivation and reward. And dopamine teaches your brain something very simple. Whatever you just did, do it again. So when you catch a good move in the market, you predicted something correctly. You took action. You got rewarded. And your brain links those three things together. Trade, reward, repeat. But here's where trading becomes dangerous. The rewards in the market are unpredictable. Sometimes a trade works. Sometimes it doesn't. And unpredictable rewards trigger even stronger responses from the brain. That's the same psychological mechanism used in casinos and slot machines. What happens when nothing happens? Now, imagine you've been sitting in front of your charts for an hour. No setups, no trades, nothing interesting happening. From a psychological point of view, your brain's reward system goes quiet, and the brain hates that. So it starts searching the environment for something, anything, that could trigger a reward again. That's when the thought appears. Maybe there's another trade. But here's the dangerous part. Your brain is no longer asking, is this a good trade? It starts asking, is this good enough to take a trade? And that small shift in thinking is where boredom trading begins. Sometimes your brain isn't looking for a good trade. It's just looking for something to happen. Pattern interruption. But here's the strange part. Most traders already know they shouldn't take boredom trades, and they still do it. Why? Because in the moment, boredom doesn't feel dangerous. It feels harmless. And that's what makes it so dangerous. The pressure of sitting in front of charts. If you spend hours watching charts, you start feeling like you should be doing something. Thoughts appear like, I've been here all day. There has to be something to trade. I can't just sit here doing nothing. And slowly your standards begin to drop. Earlier in the day, you might look at a setup and say, no, that doesn't meet my rules. But after hours of waiting, something changes. You stop asking, is this a great trade? And you start asking, is this good enough? And that small shift in thinking is what leads to boredom trading. The one more trade bias. One of the most dangerous thoughts a trader can have is very simple: just one more trade. It doesn't sound reckless, it sounds reasonable, and your brain quickly builds a logical story around it. If it works, I end the day even better. If it doesn't work, it's just a small loss. It's only one trade. But the real question should be, does this trade actually meet my system? And many times, it doesn't. Here's something many traders eventually realize. The market rarely destroys a trader on the first trade of the day. It usually happens on the last one, the one that wasn't supposed to happen. Imagine this situation. It's the end of the trading day. You're already green. The market has slowed down. Then you see a setup that's not perfect, but it looks close enough. And your brain says, just one more trade. That moment right there is where many profitable days get destroyed. How boredom trading destroys good trading days. Many traders experience the exact same pattern. They trade well during the main session. They follow their rules. They stay disciplined. Maybe they're already green for the day. Then the market slows down. Nothing happens for a while. And that thought appears again. Just one more trade. The moment you take that trade, something important changes. Up until that point, you were trading your system. Now you're trading your emotions. If that trade loses, your emotional state shifts instantly. Instead of thinking, I had a good trading day, you start thinking, I shouldn't have taken that trade. Then another dangerous thought appears. Let me just make it back. And that's when boredom trading often turns into revenge trading. Many traders don't lose their day on the first trade. They lose it on the last one. Types of boredom trading. There are actually 3 types of boredom trades. 1. Pure boredom trading. You've been watching charts for too long and your brain just wants action. 2. Guilt trading. You feel like you should trade because you spent time watching the market. 3. Boredom revenge trading. A boredom trade loses, and now you try to make the loss back. Recognizing these patterns is extremely important, because once you notice the emotion driving the trade, you can stop it. How to prevent boredom trading. Understanding boredom trading helps, but in the moment, discipline can disappear. So the best solution is to create systems that reduce temptation. Step 1. Identify your dangerous time. Look at your past trades and ask, at what time of the day do I take my worst trades? For many traders, it's midday or the last hour of the session. Step 2. Walk away from the screen. When boredom appears, step away from the charts for 20 to 30 minutes. That break allows your brain to reset, and it removes the pressure to trade. Step 3. Let the market call you. Instead of watching charts constantly, set price alerts at your key levels. Then focus on something else. Read, answer messages, talk with someone. Now you're not desperately searching for trades. You're simply waiting for the market to call you when something important happens. Personal insight. One thing I've personally noticed is something interesting. The periods when I make the most money trading are often the periods when I take the fewest trades. Usually during those times, I'm busy with other things. I'm not staring at charts all day waiting for something to happen. And because of that, I don't force trades that were never really there. Final thought. Boredom trading doesn't happen because traders lack intelligence. It happens because they stay too long in an environment designed to trigger action. Sometimes the most profitable decision a trader can make is simply walking away from the screen. Because a good trading day isn't just about making money. It's about having the discipline to stop when the opportunities are gone.